All right, everyone. Right now I'm at this Heron and Cormorant rookery. It's looking pretty empty right now, but in the breeding season, all these dead eucalyptus serve for like really amazing nesting habitat for a bunch of different birds we have here in the estuary and the bay. Lots of great egrets and snowy egrets and great-billed herons, double-crested cormorants. Lots of stuff like that will nest kind of in these dead eucalyptus trees. It's been raining all night here, so I'm thinking there's going to be a lot of kind of wet birds up here drying off, getting ready for the day. So I said I'm going to walk this area here, look at these dead snags, see what I can find, and then I'll walk kind of further down this path, and there's a woodpecker calling. Look for some birds in the bay as well, so it'll be fun. It seems like most of the double-crested cormorants and herons and egrets have all kind of woken up, gone out into the bay. So all that we have left kind of in these snags here are a huge group of turkey vultures with their wings kind of spread out, drying off for the day, along with a red-tailed hawk, I think kind of just doing the same thing, drying off so they can kind of fly around. That red-tailed hawk actually just flew off. Shoot. It's all right. And then there's just a bunch of these turkey vultures. It appears there was a pair of red-tailed hawks, actually. Another one just flew off as well. The hawk family is super interesting, where the females are a lot larger than the males. Kind of an interesting evolutionary adaptation. I don't know what the benefit of that is, but very interesting. You gotta put more respect on turkey vultures' names. I got a super cool group of turkey vultures kind of right behind me here, drying off for the day, wings spread out. A lot of times this is either to kill parasites with the UV rays of the sun, but most of the time this is just to dry off, get their feathers nice and dry so they can fly off. These guys are an awesome species. They take what we don't need and they turn it into fuel. They're like nature's recycling cans. They're really amazing species. Once their feathers kind of dry off, they'll probably take off and ride some warm air thermals kind of up into the sky and circle around and then kind of fly around until they usually smell a different little dead animals. Turkey vultures have an insanely strong sense of smell. A study was conducted in Ecuador which showed that turkey vultures could find dead meat under a huge group of sticks. Kind of far back in these trees here, there's also, I finally was able to find a singular double-crested cormorant. Right behind me is a double-crested cormorant. This is an awesome seabird that goes way out into the ocean and catches schools of fish. You can tell it's a double-crested cormorant because it has yellow coloration around its bill. It also appears to be kind of young because it has a kind of whitish around its head and its neck, while the adults would be all a darkish brown. All right, I kept promising myself that I'd move on and go to the bay, and I just kept getting distracted. I also just found a super cool group of mourning dove, along with a really awesome great-billed heron that was like super far in the thicket there. Mourning dove are awesome species. We have I feel like we almost always see Eurasian collared doves for our kind of most common dove species. And in my opinion, that's a damn shame. Eurasian collared doves are doves that actually come from Europe in their name, Eurasia. European species, and then someone introduced them to Central Park many years ago. And they're just the worst. They took over so bad. They take up so much of the US. I think they're in the entire US is their range. And they kind of outcompete these mourning doves. I mean, mourning doves are doing fine. They're not like endangered or anything, but they're definitely getting outcompeted by these Eurasian collared doves. Sad story. We've done that with a lot of different species. Did the same thing with the European starlings. Same thing with the house sparrows. There was actually a club, ridiculously enough, there was a club back in the day dedicated to introducing species from Europe into America. And some of those species just took off and destroyed. I just found the most spectacular bird. Right behind me here is a red-shouldered hawk. These are much more uncommon than the red-tailed hawk, and you usually only see them in kind of more riparian areas like this. They're much more of a red and black and white checkered color, whereas red-tailed hawks are much more dark, kind of black with a white chest and a red tail. These guys are awesome, kind of smaller hawks that will hunt in more wooded areas like this and kind of chase different species around. And they'll also kind of just look down, look for mice and little rodents. This is a really amazing species. He's letting me get so close because it just rained last night. I can't get over this. It's so amazing. Such a cool species. I'm getting crazy lucky today. This was amazing. That red-shouldered hawk is just so cool. He's still kind of hanging around, looking for some mice to catch. I think he's still drying off a little bit. Truly amazing. These turkey vultures are kind of starting to warm up as well and take off. I was finally able to get a successful video of some bufflehead, which are right behind me in this bay here. These little diving ducks, the bufflehead. Males kind of have that black and white, kind of a white patch on his head, and then all black, and then a white side. Females look a lot similar, but just a little white patch on its head, a little small circle instead of a huge white patch. They're usually really difficult to take videos of because they're always diving down, trying to catch little things at the bottom of the bay. But right now they're pretty awesome. Actually, let me video them for a few seconds, which was not as cooperative as they were yesterday. So that's pretty sweet. I think I'm seeing some sort of loon, like really far in the bay. So I might try to zoom into that and figure out what's the deal with that guy, if I can re-find him. Otherwise, there's some dark-eyed juncos calling over here. There was a hummingbird, which was kind of scaring this little red-shouldered hawk a little bit. And then you got your bufflehead, of course. That's kind of most of the action right now. You hear that chipping sound. There's a pretty large flock of yellow-rumped warblers kind of working these eucalyptus trees behind me as well. Those chipping sounds. There's also a California sea otter out in the bay. Super far out. I'll get some footage of that for sure. He's kind of like way out here. If he doesn't end up diving. Cute little guy. Yeah, so really far in the bay here, there was a common loon, kind of winter plumage common loon out there. Really big beak. He keeps diving. I can't get a video of him, unfortunately. And then really far out, if you look like way out the far side of the bay, there's a little bit of an estuary habitat. And over there, I was able to find great egret. Really big white great egret out there, kind of working its way along that little estuary strip. And I think it's also with some long-billed curlews as well, which is kind of crazy. Super far away, just a little white dot, but that's also kind of fun to look far out so you can find. Otherwise, we got little buffleheads, we got a riparian little species. I think that's kind of all this place offers. That red-shouldered hawk was definitely a highlight for me. Really cool species. I think I'm gonna pack up here. There might be some more new roosting species on the way back. I'm still on winter break, so I'm kind of just living that bum lifestyle, just doing whatever I want. It rained all of last night, so I was kind of hoping that there'd be some waterlogged birds kind of down here at this rookery. I think I might have gone a little too late, unfortunately. It's kind of like 9 o'clock right now. So I think a lot of the birds woke up and went off to do their business, which is completely fair. The early bird gets the worm, and I got to be there for said early bird. And I was not. You can hear quite a lot of, there's a chestnut-back chickadee as well. That call, kind of behind me, or in front of me. That little very cool. Yeah, once these eucalyptus trees get a little bit of light on them, it becomes home for quite a lot of different little riparian species. Super sick. But I believe that is a day. I think I'm calling it. I gotta get home and eat some breakfast. Little wren species calling over there as well. Sounds like a Buick wren to me. That little so sick. Alright, like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I'll be out doing birding stuff like this all the time, so drop in, join me. See y'all later.